we are 1 year today. Drum rolls.
Oh, I love you.
Guy.
Oh, my love. I want you by my side. You know I'll make you laugh. I want you to be happy. Oh, my love. Will you stay in my life? I never want you to go away from me. Go away from me. I like it that you're happy, baby. Like it that you're happy with me. Like it that you won't be with me. Oh, say now who I call me. Like it that you want to love me. Baby, do you see that I'm so happy? So happy. Say you said for true to me. Oh, only you will be my lover. Amen. From January to December. Amen. From December till forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Alright, so we're just gonna do some question and answer.
Amen. I won't stop loving you.
So that let's go on to the video. Okay, so let's start with how we met. I know most of you don't know, but we're going to give a quick story on how we met. Babe,
very quick, as quick as it can be. How we met was in 2014. Yeah, 2014. That's when we met. She was where I work currently now. She did her IT there, so she just came by to say hello to her old colleagues, and that's where I heard a voice from inside the office.
My voice.
Yeah, you know,
my voice.
And I was actually sleeping at that time, but
my voice
but somehow subconsciously I was listening to her conversation, how she was able to hold that conversation, how she was able to talk, pass her messages to, you know, my colleague then. You understand? So at that time, she left, and then after a couple of days again, she came back. You know, and then at that point again, that's when I saw her face to face, and then I asked my colleague. She actually even finished talking, and she left as well. And then I asked my colleague, who is that girl? And he said, IBJAY.
Yeah, and he mentioned my name.
And I asked him, can I get her number?
Of course, he had to ask my number.
I'd like to be her friend. And that's how this whole journey started. You know, that's how this whole journey started. That's actually when we met.
Exactly. That was just when we met. We met then also.
It's been a beautiful 1 year. But we are not going to sit here to tell you all those lovely stories, all those it was wonderful, it was captivating. Nah, we're a couple that stand on truth. We'll tell you we've had challenges, we've had misunderstanding, we've had quarrels. But in all of this, it's just been a learning process for us. Yes, we've learned through these times how to understand each other, how to love each other the more, how to couple up properly.
Exactly.
You understand? So it's been a 1 year of learning, a 1 year of iron sharpeneth iron. But above all, it's been God who has made it very beautiful.
God has been good.
You know, we've come to the level and the point where we, through what we have imbibed or, you know, inculcated in each other, we've come to become, you know, have that oneness, that peace and that rest that we so desire from each other. You understand? So it's not about, nobody should deceive you. It's not rosy. It's not rosy.
It's not
read my lips. It's not rosy.
Read his lips.
It's not rosy. It's not rosy. But with the power of God at work in our life, it's been blissful.
For me, I can describe it as a learning ground. We have learned so much. When I say so much, we have learned. I have learned, he has learned. We learn from our mistakes, we learn from our joys, we learn from everything. So basically, this 1 year has just been a learning process. When they say your 1 year is your learning process, indeed, it
that
is
what they
a
say?
learning. Yes, that's what people say. But your 1 year is your learning process.
Wow, I didn't
It's
know.
the year that you learn and unlearn and just discover yourself. That's what people say. And indeed, it was in all sentence of that.
Just
We
saying
discovered
that.
ourselves more,
Yeah.
we learned more, we understood ourselves better. So for me, this 1 year has been awesome and it has been a learning ground. Quick to the next one. What is that one thing that has brought us closer together?
One word. God.
God. G-O-D.
God.
God that has brought us closer together.
Somebody's going to tell you it's all love, blah, blah, blah.
Love doesn't bring it together.
If your conviction is not
Throw away love.
of
No,
God,
don't throw away love. Keep your love.
if your conviction is not God, then you're going to hit the rock. It's as simple as that.
I love my husband.
It's
I
been
love him.
God. Yeah, it's been God.
But God has
Not to say we don't love each other, but your marriage, our marriage is built on the solid rock of Jesus Christ.
God.
So
Yes.
it's been God, because else, my dear, it would have been two waves going two different directions. But God has been so faithful.
God has
He's been there for us. He's been carrying us from one point to
So,
another point with the love that we bear in the heart for each other, and then sealing it up with God. Boom.
Yes. For me, what has kept us together is my husband's patience. He is patience to a patient. Not a patience. He's patient to a fault. My husband is too patient. He's patient with me. He's patient with himself. Like, he also needs to be patient with himself. That's the truth. He
Yeah.
has to be patient with himself.
Self-control.
Yes, he's patient with himself and he's patient with me. He's just patient, and I really appreciate that about him. He is super duper patient, and that patience alone has brought us together. Because if he has not been patient with me in some things that I did, we would have not been closer. Would have not been like this. Now we are not. We are like this. We are even more than like this. You can't tell me anything about my husband and I accept it. To the next question, what is our favorite memory?
Favorite memory is
Honeymoon! Our
Yeah,
honeymoon was our favorite memory. Favorite. Awesome. Perfect.
there's no weighing it. Yeah, there's no weighing it.
I don't want to wait that one.
Yeah,
It was too good.
It's our honeymoon. Yeah.
You know why it was too good? We did not have anybody to distract us. Our phone.
Yeah, virtually there was no phone.
My husband did not have phone that period, though,
No,
and I did not have phone.
Our phones were basically on flight mode.
They were like,
Yeah.
nobody.
Not like we put it on
Not-
flight mode,
but
subconsciously
you
the
don't
phone
even
just
call us.
entered flight mode
Don't
on
even
its
try
own.
it.
Yeah.
So our favorite memory was that one. And seriously, if we start talking of favorite memories now, we will not leave here. We even have memories that we didn't have to go to fancy places or do fancy things for them to be called favorite memories.
But of course, favorite memories
have-
doesn't have to be fancy places
We
and
have
all of that.
at all.
Right, so-
Exactly. We have memories where I went to. My husband was teaching me something about driving. We went somewhere to learn about it, and you don't want to know what happened there.
The speed.
Something happened. Some boys came and something. The speed at which my husband jacked me and moved there.
It's called
The way we
sensitivity.
moved,
Yeah.
the way we flew. I was looking at it. I was laughing. As in, when we finally passed them, you see the way we were laughing. We were laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. So that was our favorite memory, when we just passed them and we were just laughing and laughing at how we had to run in speed and all that. We've had real favorite memory. And if we have to relive any of them, which one do you want to relive?
Honeymoon.
Honeymoon.
Yeah.
Honeymoon. We have to relive our
We
honeymoon.
like to have
And we
that
will
moment
relive it.
with it.
Once this lockdown is over, we're going somewhere.
Inshallah.
We're
Inshallah.
going somewhere, people. We have to relive it, because then phone will not ring. My husband's phone can ring for the whole continent. He can call, but it's all work call. My husband is very hardworking, very hardworking.
Oshe mami.
My baby is hardworking. He is hardworking to the
Oshe mami.
core.
Oshe mami.
So he's
God bless
always
you.
working and all that. So honeymoon, because we get to go away from work and everybody. That's what we have to do. On to the next. What has been the best thing about being married? What's the best thing about being married?
See my hand.
Coupling.
Yes, the best thing about being married
Together.
is togetherness,
Togetherness.
coupling, being together. You know, I have someone to pour my soul out to.
Exactly.
And I have someone to also listen to. I have someone to come back home to share my day-to-day activities, stress, stuffs like that. I have somebody to have a constructive discussion with. I have someone to,
I'm the one
how do I say it now? Somebody I can warm up to.
Yeah.
So the best thing about being married is, coupling. You have a partner. You have somebody that you are in collaboration with. You have somebody that you are in a genuine relationship with. You understand? So that's the best thing. One of the best things about being married,
Yes.
it's coupling. It's coupling. Understanding somebody that understands you and that you understand as well.
Someone you can always go back to.
Yeah.
Someone I can baby up to. That is my own favorite part. I can always be a baby. I like being a baby. I like somebody to pamper me. I like when somebody cook food for me and do breakfast in bed. He does that sometimes. So that is my own favorite part. I can baby up at any time and I don't have to feel sorry about it. 12 months.
You go first.
Anything shocking. I have two. One, look at this beautiful face over here. Show them the face well. This young man can cook. He can cook. That was a shocking experience I discovered. And before I got married to him, he's always, hey, I don't like kitchen. Hey, me, I can't. They say, me too, that don't like kitchen. How we go to manage? We manage now. But I discovered that he cooks. Eating his food and eating my food. If I eat my own food, I've told you before, I don't like the way it tastes in my mouth. But when he cooks, I can eat and eat and eat and eat. Eat, overeating. And another thing is, he can flip. I never knew that my husband flips that much as he flips. But my husband flips.
It's a good flip.
It's a good flip, but sometimes it's not so good.
It's a good flip.
But my husband can flip. That is a shocking thing I discovered about him. About me, what did you discover?
Yeah, so far I haven't discovered any shocking thing about my wife.
Nothing is shocking.
Yeah, just normal, just normal.
Alright. So I'm an open book invariably. I tell you as it is. I tell you everything. So that's that about that. So if you could do anything different in the past 1 year, what would it be?
If I could do anything differently, is not to be flipping. Yeah, not to be flipping, because the flipping most times are what gave rise to the misunderstanding. And my wife being an analytical someone or analytical person, when she analyzes it, you realize, man, your flipping was just unnecessary. It wasn't called for. So if there's anything I'd like to do different, I'd like to not flip at all. I'd like to not flip at all. I'd like to not get angry at all. And if that happens, it means all of the little misunderstanding that we had will be, if subtracted from this 1 year, would have been a perfect 1 year.
Yeah, perfect.
So that's one of the things I would like to undo.
Undo differently.
Undo differently in this new year. It's not to flip at all, but rather try to, understand well before even speaking or even, flipping at all. But flipping, I don't want to flip anymore.
Okay, for me, what I would do differently is I'll accept sorry a little bit earlier. Yes. I like being told sorry, so it's not my fault in a way, but it's my fault too. When something happens, I always wait to be told sorry. I always wait for him to come and say, oh yeah, baby, it's okay now, calm down. And that sorry is not once. He must say it at least 3-4 times. And when I say 3-4 times, it's not on the spot though. Say, oh yeah, babe, sorry now. That's one. Sorry now, that's two. My sorry is, you come and sit down. We have that discussion. You tell me sorry. After you finish telling me sorry, you go. I think about it. That one doesn't enter my head.
And you have to come back after like 3 hours.
You come back again after a few hours. Say the same sorry. I'm like, it will start reasoning in my head. Then maybe by the 3rd time, I will not accept the sorry. But this new year, what I would like to do differently is that sorry aspect. I'll say, out of maybe 10 quarrel, I'll say sorry maybe once or twice. Have I not tried?
No, this year. Next question.
Okay, so it's about just saying sorry, really. I will learn to say sorry, and I will accept the sorry maybe after the first one. Maybe I'll accept sorry. How was that? But you have to be doing something for me to be accepting the sorry. Anyways, on to the next. What have you learned from your spouse in this last 12 months? What have you learned from him?
What I've learned actually from my wife is she's very spontaneous. You know, she's outspoken and she's very analytical. What I mean by analytical means she analyzes things very well. I think that's a gift. It's not everybody that can actually dissect things and then bring them back together for it to make sense. That's actually a gift. You know, so that's one of the things I've learned from her. Then another thing is the fact that she has this belief about nothing is impossible for you to achieve. Nothing is impossible for you to do. You understand? So these are the things I've learned about her, you know, learned from her actually. You know, very analytical. She knows how to dissect things. You can't throw a story to her without her, you know, getting to the root of it and then bringing the story out again, giving it to you back in a different form, and then making you understand it better. That's one. And then she has a spirit of this thing, a spirit of competition. Yeah, I can do this thing. I'll do it and I'll do it better. I'll do it better. So these are the things I've learned from my wife.
Okay, I've learned patience. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again because that is the outstanding attribute my husband has. That is the outstanding thing that once you see him, if you see him, you think he's a very quiet person. My husband is not a quiet person. That's number one. He's not quiet. Yes, I will tell you. I will say it to the world. He is not quiet. Okay, but what makes him look like he's quiet is the fact that he is patient. He is patient. If I can say
Slow to speak.
100%. Are you slow to speak?
Yeah.
Can talk. He talks too. He talks a lot.
Inside the bedroom.
Inside the bedroom, as long as it's both of us, he will talk. He can talk. He talks a lot.
That's for sure.
But the outstanding quality is patience, and that is what I've learned from him. I've learned how to be patient. Sometimes I'm quick to just rule on some things, you know. I'm quick to just make decisions. I'm quick to just, this should be done like this, without even thinking. Something happens, I don't even really overthink it. But from him, I've learned that patience is also very important when you want to take a decision. And I've learned from him patience. He's very patient. He's very, what will I say? I've also learned that he's from him that he's an open book somehow. Somehow I'm a closed book. He can say I'm open, but I'm somehow a closed book. I don't like people to know about me or everything about me, but he's open book, not know everything about me, but he's open book. He tells you play how this is sometimes. Okay, so basically it's patience. I've learned patience from him, and it's not like I've learned it. I am learning patience from my husband. That's that about what we have learned. So what is something you have done that has worked? What is that one thing that we have done that has worked in our marriage?
Yeah, planning something. So planning has helped us. Planning is something we've done and has really helped us so much. You know, we put planning first before anything. Even in the food that we eat,
we plan what we are going to eat for the day.
Everything. We plan everything. Before we even step out of the house, we plan everything. So virtually planning has been working for us. We plan everything.
Awesomely working for us.
Plan everything.
So that's one thing that we've done. Another thing, let me just go a little bit spiritual. Another thing that we've done that has really worked for us was intentionally raising an altar in this home. We intentionally raised a Christian and a godly altar in our home. And whether we like it or not, that altar has been speaking for us. That altar,
that's for sure,
has been doing things for us, has been answering our prayers, has been giving us revelations and all that. So that's what we've done to make it.
I think another thing is always trying to do things together.
Yes, we did
always
that.
trying
That
to
has
do
really
things
worked for us.
together.
Which
So it really have worked for us.
absolutely.
It doesn't matter what it is, but we try to do things together.
Do everything
Go to the cleaning of the house. Most times, if she has to cook and I know she's going to be bored in the kitchen, I just take a seat and sit there, and then I just start blabbing, start gisting, and it's really fun. We try to do things together, most especially in this lockdown. In Port Harcourt, River State, we've virtually done everything
since
together.
Thursday.
Yeah,
I've not been in the kitchen and he has been in the room.
Exactly. We
always
all
been together.
Do things together. Yeah, so that's one thing that also worked for us.
And we go everywhere together, kind of.
Yeah.
No, apart from work though.
Apart from
But
work, yeah.
after working hours, everywhere we have to go to, we want to go and see a client, we are going together. We want to go and buy gas, we are going together. Hey, want to buy something to eat, we'll stroll down together. Babe will always be like, wait, let me follow you. Let me just quickly wait. And I will have to wait for him, even if you just go downstairs. Go down. We basically do everything together. But we still have our own separate time for ourselves.
Yeah, sure.
But mainly we do things together, really. And that has really worked for us because we are always in each other's space. You should learn not to always give each other so much space. It's good to give space, give yourself a little space for your own self, but don't let it be too much. Or we always are together. That is one thing that we've done that has really worked for us. Now to the last question to wrap up this. What is the most difficult part we have experienced after being married? The most difficult thing that we experienced in this 1 year. Wow. What's the most difficult thing I experienced? Wow. The most difficult thing I experienced was when we are quarreling. That was the most difficult thing I experienced, especially when I'm now not feeling well and I'm quarreling. It was the most difficult thing ever to go through. Like, to go through my day is war. I can't even do anything, have a conversation. It was the most difficult thing I experienced in this 1 year. And another thing, apart from that, of course, everybody, that is their most difficult thing to experience, quarrels. But another thing is planning a meal, cooking. Sometimes you will ask this uncle here, what will you eat? Uncle will say, anything. Jesus, how am I supposed to get any? Is there any food like anything? Excuse us. Is there anything like anything? That thing is very difficult. It's the most difficult thing I've ever experienced. The most difficult thing is I always had to get a meal prepped at least, even if it's not something so fancy, even if it's just noodles, or even if we are drinking gari, I have to at least have the sugar and the granules. So that was another most difficult thing I've experienced for this past one. But like I said before, I'm learning and I'm getting better at it.
Yeah, one of the most difficult things
Experiencing
this wedding is
this marriage.
This marriage, rather. My dear, Oti Tommy. Okay, it's just like we said earlier.
Yes.
Having to say sorry. Those
Every
4,
time.
5, 6, 7, 10 times, before she will have to now accept, and I'm always like, wow, but I am your husband. I mean, I'm meant to just say
Before
sorry
God,
once
are
or
you-
twice, and you'll be okay. Why do you have to make me always sit up like 10 times before you now finally accept? Babe, man. But of course, it's like we said, it's a learning. It's been a 1 year of learning each other, right? So it's something we already have passed, right? But at first it was very difficult because I just have this in my head that she's my wife and then I am her husband. If we have a misunderstanding, we don't have to, lengthen it. Sorries don't have to rain like, it's raining from heaven.
It should rain now.
Before
Rain.
we can just make peace. But of course,
But
she's a baby, right? So it's well, it's that's it. Anyways, that's it. So that's one of the most difficult one. But of course, it's not difficult anyway. So it's just 1 year of learning, and we're out of that. So thank you.
so
Thank you
so much.
so
We
much.
appreciate your time watching this clip. This is a documentary for us, basically.
Yeah.
It was for us so that we can look back and see what we have accomplished so far.
In our 1 year
In our
of
1
being
year.
together.
Yes.
Watch out for our YouTube channel.
Yes!
IBJAY
Coming!
Power.
Coming to you!
Yeah,
Live!
We'll be talking about so many
A lot of
things.
things.
Yeah,
A lot
on
of
our
things.
YouTube channel. We'll be touching so many areas, on our YouTube channel. Together, this video is also testing our OAP, on air personality.
In this 1 year, really, we are just too grateful to God. I'm grateful to all of you as well. We appreciate you. So we have to run now because my husband has to cook
Oh my
dinner.
love, I want you by my side. You know I'll make you laugh. I want you to be happy.
All right.
Oh my
An
love,
advice for you
will you
out
stay
there.
in my
Right,
life?
this is a
I
lockdown
never want you to go away
season,
from me.
lockdown period.
Don't go away.
Get a lot of messages.
I like it that you're happy, baby. Like it that you're happy with me. Like it that you won't be with me. Oh, say now who I can be. Like it that you want to love me. Baby, do you see that I'm so happy? So happy. Say you said for choose me. Oh, only you will be my lover. Amen.
Wash your hands.
Well, I'm not a COVID-19 specialist.
Wash your hands thoroughly.
You don't want to
Every time use hand-based sanitizers, alcohol-based sanitizers.
Tomorrow the lockdown is free at least. Come on. So all of you that have an anniversary gift for us, this we are welcoming guests. Not the party. We're not sharing the party for you. You are going to
This love,
put your nose mask on your hands and guys are
If you want to fall for these, please use
oh baby,
One said we are testing
take my
our skill.
hand.
Don't expect our YouTube channel
Oh, we
IBJAY.
will go
Love
wherever.
you all. You, Mommy, Stella.
Mommy Stella, we love you.
Honey, do you see that I'm so happy? So happy. Say you said to choose
Mama.
me.
Love you, Mama. Love you,
Mama.
Aki, Ebubebu, and all of our siblings.
January to December. Amen. From December to